it's here from Pop Turner. They speak to Erin Cahill and Jesse Kove about A Taste of Love, which is premiering February 19th on the Hallmark Channel. Welcome to the show, both of you. Good to see you both.
Hi.
What's up? Thanks for having us. Thank you, Petey.
No problem, Jesse. It's your third time on the show. So I feel like 2 more times like the 5 Timers Club. Like I feel like do I have to get you something for the occasion? Like well, I don't know. It's you're getting closer to like me having to get you something.
I'm having like a total starstruck right now because Erin Cahill is here with us.
Yes.
And that's what's happening.
Absolutely. No, it's so great. And Erin, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to thank you both for having me, and Jesse, because you were like, I'm doing this interview, you come with me. So thank you both for having me.
Oh, I'm really excited to chat. I want to know, Erin, because it's interesting because, you know, there's a lot that kind of goes into a movie before we actually go and film it. You're reading the scripts, you know, you're talking to Jesse, your co-star, about what you're going to do on camera. And in a lot of ways, it's like 2 separate journeys, like before filming and after filming. But for this one, did it feel like kind of one big journey with many steps, like from a storytelling acting perspective, or was it 2 separate journeys? I'm just curious about that.
First of all, Petey, I love that question. Secondly, Jesse, I want you to answer because I think you had a different experience than I did. So we both got lucky to know this amazing producer called Lincoln Lagason, and he's the reason the both of us were there. Marty was there, Martin Kove, and our DP. Lincoln is the reason. Yeah. And Lincoln called me and was like, listen, there's this lovely script I'm attached to produce. I know you've wanted to learn how to produce. So I kept calling him my mentor, and he was like, I'm your partner. So I was like, okay, fine, you're my partour. So he brought me in to be a baby producer on the project. So I actually got to be there involved for a couple months. I got to weigh in on local casting because the leads were already cast. It was me, Jesse, Marty, and Susan were already cast. Yeah. And the script was fully formed. I like to say it was a train on the tracks. And I didn't do anything other than like gently weigh in on an opinion and learn. I really followed around like a baby producer, which I'm forever grateful for. So for me, it was a different experience because I lived with it for,
totally
a couple months in every way. Yeah. I'm going to like location scouts and like I said, weighing in on casting and doing all that kind of fun stuff. So it was different, but it was like, okay, it was the pre-production. And then when Jesse and Marty got there, it just felt like a big party for 3.5 weeks.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Jesse, does the mindset kind of change, you know, could I add to that question about the journey and everything? Different kind of genres might have different processes, but it's all storytelling at the end of the day, right? I think we've talked about that before.
Totally. I mean, they, this story when it came about was this beautiful love story that takes place in Dunedin, Florida, where we actually shot the movie. And the Dunedin is, the name we used of the town that we shot in, which is the city of Dunedin. And which I think is really rare to actually use the real towns, real cities. And obviously, like Erin was saying, she went and location scouted and she was there before we got there. And the great thing about that was Dunedin itself played a great character in the movie. Like there's so much of the film that takes place, around Dunedin, where we shot on the beach and the oceans and the restaurants that we used. Those were all real restaurants and real streets and real places, the real locals that were there during the filming that are in the movie.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. Yeah, that doesn't happen sometimes. You say like, oh, it takes place here. And then it's like, yeah, we filmed it here. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
It's true. It's true.
The amount of I have been in filming in Vancouver for Vancouver to be Seattle or Vancouver or anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked where you were, because I know there's a lot of back and forth between, doing LA, going to LA and Vancouver. There's a lot of films that film in Vancouver. And I feel like a lot of people realize that, but there's a lot of back and forth for you specifically with that. Erin, I did want to also, look at that background.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Like this is Dunedin, okay? Like we were there. This is part of when we were shooting on the beach in one of the scenes. I have a couple ones I'm going to pull through here, by the way. But this is what we're talking about.
Is it like food is involved with this movie, but did you see it as like a movie with food in it, or did you see it as a movie about food with romance in it? I'm wondering how you read the script, because I want to know your opinions on that. Erin, start with you.
Oh, love that. I saw it as a rom-com with
food,
like being one of the stronger elements.
Yeah.
I think for moments when it was all about the food, which was funny because I think we all thought it was character driven. Jesse, what do you think? 'Cause I loved your scrolling through. Shout out to Michael May, our
He's adding to
DP.
the production of the show. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was the scene on the beach that we shot, and that was part of the behind the scenes. But I mean, I learned when I did the movie, I learned so much about how much people really love like the elements of romance and food, like especially like I think obviously Hallmark does a lot of like Christmas movies, and I feel like people associate food, family, love with those holidays. This is not surrounding Christmas at all. There's no holidays surrounding this movie, so it's really just like the area of Dunedin, this beach town, along with the romance, and then the element of food, which definitely plays another character in the film. And I think people just love watching those elements. It's like when people are on Instagram, they follow all these food channels because it's like you want to eat all this up, and it does play a huge part in the film. And I think it adds to the fun of it, aside from me eating all of the food on set.
Absolutely. No, for sure. I remember when we did our first interview, you were on another movie that had to do with food, and you were saying that it was just like between takes, just like eating snacks.
Erin understands. Another Christmas movie. Erin understands.
We both love food. We're both like big eaters. So we would both just be, same thing. We would be, there's a scene, I don't want to give anything away, but it takes place in the kitchen and it's got a dessert in it and things go awry with the dessert. Mm-hmm. And what we used as the prop, or like as the backup dessert, was this delicious mint chocolate ice cream filled pastry thing with whipped cream. So good. Do you remember this, Jesse? In takes, I was just
of course.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, stop it, you guys! Like, Erin, Jesse, put those forks down. This is a real, this is a prop for the movie. It's real.
And then remember, we were like, okay, but when this scene is done, can we have it? And they were like, yeah. So then you and I got the spoils of that.
You want to hear something crazy? I've interviewed contestants on like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and the date episodes when they're on dates, they're not allowed to touch that food.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine? Like, and there's certain areas, like in the house, there's like food everywhere, like for different shots. Like, they're not allowed to touch it. Like, they're like, we get fed pretty well, but what you see, like at the dinner, like, we're not allowed to touch it.
What?
That would drive me crazy.
Like, just try to stop me. Good luck.
No, but what if it was almost like, what if it was just sitting there, or just like a placeholder too? You got to think about that too, right? If it was just there, they put it in the morning just to make it look like a chicken parm.
Oh,
like, yeah, I know. It's so crazy to think about. I have questions specifically for both of you now. We'll start with Jesse. I mean, the legend himself, Martin Kove is in this film. Your dad's in this. I mean, from a viewer perspective, it's so amazing to see him in, a role, like a movie and a role that we haven't really seen him do before. You know what I mean? So what was it like for you working with him in that capacity? Because you worked with your dad before in projects, but maybe nothing like this specifically.
I loved it. I mean, being able to this kind of role is very much like who he is in real life. If people always associate him as like the John Kreese character from Cobra Kai, but honestly, my dad's like a big marshmallow in real life. Erin knows, they have, and even Erin and my dad have a wonderful friendship in real life. Like when they see each other, it's like just it's peaches and cream.
Yeah, because he was a chef in this film, correct?
So in the movie, which we could, Erin's character, my dad and Susan Galler own a restaurant, and my dad plays her father, and she comes back to town to see them, and there's some other things that take place, but he raised Erin's character in a restaurant, and that's how she became such a great cook in the movie. And to wrap up your question, it was wonderful to work with him in that capacity because it also was enticing for my dad because he wanted to play something soft and fun and gentle, because it's like another color as an actor for him to play, which he usually doesn't get enough of. He's always usually playing a villain or some sort of badass character.
Yeah, I was about to say, instead of sweep the leg, it's like sear the tuna.
Yeah.
Oh my God, totally. Oh.
But even with Erin, like there was a moment in the movie, like you got to tell him the moment of you on the staircase and that photo of you guys, I was there.
I gotta find that so I can put it on my story and talk about the movie.
Where we're just like,
there was a scene first of all, it's like Jesse said, Marty is marshmallow is like the perfect word. He's the biggest, sweetest.
He's the best. He's the best. He's been on the show too. He's the best. I love Marty.
Yeah, same. But yeah, there was one scene and he gets emotional in the scene. Literally everybody on set was in tears. And when we went like to go back up to like the green room, we had a moment on the stairs. We were like, that felt like flying. That's why we got into acting. It was such a connected, authentic moment that we both were like, ah! But I'll never forget it. It was one of my favorite moments of my career so far.
When did you notice, Erin, all the Cobra Kai connections to A Taste of Love? Was it early on? Because you also have Susan Gallagher in this. I'm just curious. Was it early on? We're like, oh my goodness, like Cobra Kai.
Like day one, right, Jesse?
Yeah. I mean, the whole movie is like a family affair. That's what that's what it felt like. And we so enjoyed being a part of that family. I mean, Erin paved the way for all of us. She was basically holding the doors open for everybody. Also, Erin, just so everybody knows, I say this every time, Erin will literally remember everybody's name on set and where they're from, when they went to high school, who their mother and father are. She's just so amazing that way. And we always talk about how this movie specifically, A Taste of Love, was just like literally stole a piece of our hearts. Like it really did. There was something special about this movie that we filmed in Dunedin, the people that were involved, the creatives, that was such a special experience.
And it's interesting because, and Erin, I want you to kind of add to that, but like the life of an actor in a lot of ways is really kind of like an on to the next, right? Like you make a movie, you wrap, you go to the next project, then you're going to kind of talk about it a little bit more. You're doing press, but it's cool when you have like these projects that, like A Taste of Love, like you're talking about, that like they don't really go away, right? Like you still think about it. Like that's a cool moment too, right? In the kind of industry where it is really on to the next.
PD, that's such a great point. And I think also I was thinking about this today, Jesse. We got so lucky. I mean, it's like a bit of a challenge because we originally thought the movie was going to sell somewhere else, and Hallmark had passed when they just read the script before they saw, I think before they really. Anyway, it worked out that we got sold to Hallmark, but it was a couple years. It was 2 years. So in that time, we got to go to 2 screenings a year apart. So we kept the relationship up, and we got to like keep our family connection. So it was really, really special in that way. Cause you do the thing, you do some press, and then you don't get to see each other. But then also we live in the same cities. So we will, like Marty and I will see each other in Nashville, and Jesse and I like are actual friends and hang out in LA and Nashville. It's like, it's really, really special. It's
really cool to think about that. It's interesting too, because, Erin, for like the rom-coms and everything, and you've been in a lot of them in the past. You've been on some that have been on Hallmark as well, Hallmark Channel. I find it interesting. Do you ever think about, because I think one of the best things about it, you see it a lot around the holidays, is the binging and the marathons, right? The fact that they can put on like 9 in a row and then just watch them all, right? When did you start realizing that was a really big part of like rom-coms and Hallmark and everything? Was it like 2 movies in? Was it like recent? I'm just curious about that.
Oh my God, that's such a good question. It's so funny. I think I kind of I did a movie that was bought by Hallmark. So what was my first one wasn't like, I didn't know I was doing a Hallmark until after. Jesse, I love that you keep changing.
It's great. It's awesome.
But it's really, it's my, I'm so grateful to be in the Hallmark family at this time, because my relationship with them started right as they were like changing, kind of who they are in the world a bit. And also as they were on the rise. So like everybody knew they were the king of Christmas, but there was a New York Times article recently. Did you guys see that? More people are watching Hallmark than CNN.
Absolutely. I saw that. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. Why don't we need to feel good?
They're warm hugs. Yeah. The movies are warm hugs. If you think about it, that is the movie.
That's so true.
It's so true. I couldn't be more grateful to be part of the family at this amazing time.
Yes. I was going to add to this. I'd seen, I watch Hallmark movies, but like, I didn't really when I left this movie on the plane home, I watched a Hallmark movie and I was like crying my eyes out on the plane because I'd felt all this love from shooting our film. And then I like needed more of it. So what did I do? I went and I watched a Hallmark movie on the airplane.
Oh, guys, by the way, everyone who's never somehow seen an interview with Jesse, this is him through and through. He is the best guy. Like 2 years later, I'm like, he's the best.
He is the best.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
Jesse, did we do an Instagram live during the pandemic? I'm trying to think. Maybe we did.
I think we probably did. We probably did.
Because that's also cool too. When you do those Instagram lives, that's where you really see like the fan engagement and interaction.
Erin and I are doing one right after this interview together.
That's why I just said it. You see, I was.
But you know what's perfect too about this movie now, especially because it'll be premiering. I don't remember when this is going to go on. I don't know if you're going to put this on the weekend or next week.
I'll put it up whenever you guys want it to go up.
Today, put it up today. So for the rest of the world, it's freezing right now. In the rest of the country, you can come and watch be in Dunedin in the warm, sunny weather with Erin and I, and enjoy the sunny weather of A Taste of Love. That's what I think is like so appealing about this movie. It's like, it's Christmas time, you want to be in the snowy mountains, but right now people want to be in sunny Florida with the weather.
100%.
And the romance.
Before we wrap up, I want to do something I just thought of right now. It's going to be amazing. I'm definitely putting you both on the spot here, so think about it if you can, because I want this to be good, and I want this maybe to be something you never really talked about. I want you both to ask each other a question about A Taste of Love right now.
Oh, I like that.
And I want to, but think about it. It's got to be good. Pressure's on. It's got to be good.
Okay, I got one.
Oh.
PD, I love this, and this was not prepped, everybody. Jesse, what was your most like challenging moment, I would say, like just acting wise in the movie? Like what was the moment that scared you the most, or that made that you were nervous about that you then felt triumphant after? Or do you have one?
You know what it was? I swear it was this moment right here. Hold on, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you. It was this moment.
How beautiful is that? Michael May, our DP. That's real. That's not fake.
Shout out to the crew. Can we give a shout out to cast and crew and everyone?
Yes. There was, so this moment in the movie was such a pivotal moment because we had only 15 minutes to get that shot. By the way, here's us together, behind the scenes. There's Erin being a producer.
Done I just want to let you know, sorry to interrupt, Jesse. This is the first time someone's ever done this. Like, use their backgrounds as like talking points. Is the greatest thing ever. Continue. Apologize.
It's helpful, right?
It is. It's amazing.
So good. I'm so impressed right now because I don't know how to do it.
I'm learning. But that moment was really I feel like this whole day, the beach stuff was there was so much to do. We were also kind of battling the elements a little bit because of the weather, the heat. It was very hot. We shot this, I think, in July. I think it was incredibly hot. And then, we had to get this one shot at the end of the movie in like 10 minutes and to get the sunset right. And there was also this emotion between the two of us because it was the end of the film and everything we'd gone to. And Erin and I had become like best friends at the time. And so it was just so much going on. But, at the end of the day, again, I had so much fun making this movie, and my dad and I talk about it all the time. We always joke, like, let's go back to Dunedin. Let's go do another Taste of Love. And so I'm really trying to get a sequel going to this so we can go and have play again down in Dunedin. And anyway, that I feel like that's the long answer to what you said. But I got to ask you a question, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you think that you would have this amount of this friendship and the expectations you had from this movie versus like other movies you've done where you basically like it was just a storm of love and friendship and fun?
Oh, Jesse, I love that. No, honestly, I couldn't have predicted. I knew you guys would be wonderful because of Lincoln. But I couldn't have predicted that you guys would become like family, that you guys would be the ones I find when I, that I'll know you forever now in like a really real way. Not just like, we all have co-stars that we adore, but that aren't, that are not going to be part of our lives. Like we were over the holiday, and you guys have become that. So I could not have predicted that, but I knew you'd be great because of Lincoln. But then also we have to talk about like, Susan Gallagher and how close we all got. And then also, I got to hire Timberly or suggest her for the part, and then everybody agreed. It was a mutual thing, but really was a set of just like joy and love and family, and I couldn't have predicted how much.
And we shot it during COVID, which was remarkable that we were able to get all this done through COVID.
Because it was like, remember
Absolutely.
of the COVID, remember it was like kind of like towards the end of it. And so
Right.
we had, and which was
There were
like,
still regulations and everything that was going on.
Well,
it was still definitely.
that's interesting. Okay, last question then for both of you. You could chime in. I mean, Erin, you could start. I mean, that's interesting because I used to bring up this question a lot. I'm pretty sure I might have brought this up to you, Jesse, back in the day. But you know, the movie has this a self-reflection component. Like people are figuring things out, figuring out kind of life and everything. And during the pandemic, we were doing that for like 3 years because we had the time to do so. So I feel like A Taste of Love becomes more kind of relatable because of that. Do you think about that at all, Erin? Because I do find that interesting, the self-reflection component.
I never ever thought about it in that way. Ever. Jesse, did you? Like I never.
I didn't either. I mean, it's such a great question. I mean, I think there is a lot of self-reflection that came about from it. You know, the fact that we were able to get it done with the difficulties at hand. You know, Erin was a producer. There were certain things. You know, there was one day where someone had COVID and we had to like separate the crew and like had to like inside, outside, and yet again, we're still trying to tell this love story at the same time. And you know, it was really remarkable. It always amazes me the resilience of making movies, like how far we go to tell a story and to make it happen. That to me was always the most amazing thing. And just like this movie, every movie has its own difficulties. This was you know, a labor of love as well as, you know, just the challenges that it has. So if I take away anything from it, is again, it was the resilience of being able to make this with the people that we did and the timing and all that, and still have the most amazing time ever.
Thank you both for providing hugs at a time where we really need them.
Oh, thank you, Petey. And Petey, you got to do me a favor and tell your mom that I said thank you for watching, and I'm a big fan of her right back.
Awesome. Yeah. What's the full name?
Yeah.
I know it's Cherry Hill. What's the Christmas movie you did?
It's on Cherry Lane.
Yes.
That just actually nominated for a GLAAD award.
Amazing.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that one. She definitely watched that one quite a few times. So I will tell her. But I wanted to thank you both for coming on the show. It was so great chatting with you both. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Petey. So happy to be here.
Yeah, so A Taste of Love on the Hallmark channel, February 19th. They're gonna be able to check that out. Both of you have Instagram, obviously. Jesse, is it just your name?
Yep.
Just Jesse Kove. And is it just Erin Cahill?
It's the Erin Cahill because I wanted all my.
Because she is the Erin Cahill.
I felt so silly doing that, but I was like, I have to figure out a way to make them all match, and that was the only way to do it.
No, absolutely.
I wish I was the Jesse Kove.
Jesse Kove. He's gonna
the Jesse Kove is coming right now. The Jesse Kove is coming into the room right now.
Well, this has been Pop Turnitive. YouTube.com/PopTurn for previous episodes. A Taste of Love is going to be premiering on Hallmark channel February 19th. Until next time, this is the Erin Cahill and the Jesse Kove and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Pop Turnitive. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Pop Turnitive on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.